Everybody, what's going on? Man, it has been a few days since I've picked up this camera and filmed a video. So what has been happening? Honestly, I've just not been really feeling like making videos, to be 100% honest with you. I've been making a lot of videos already this year. I don't even know how many I've made this year so far. We're only like 20 days into it. I think I've made probably at least 15 videos. I've made a lot of videos, and I just haven't really gotten the time to make another one, to be 100% honest with you. I'm not going to lie and say that I was super busy and all that. I just didn't have the time to make them, didn't feel like making them, and just a lot of kind of crappy things like that. But today we are here going to be talking about a punch rig. So some people may or may not know what a punch rig is. Now, I'm not actually going to do one 100% perfect the way that, the pros would do it, but I'm going to do my version of it, mainly because the way they do it is not the way that I like to do them. So I'm going to show you guys this right here. So I actually only have this type of skirt here. Here pretty soon I'm going to have to save up and buy a bunch of these punch skirts. I don't know where I'm going to get them, probably eBay or Tackle Warehouse maybe. But this right here actually came off of a Chatterbait. It's actually a Chatterbait skirt, but if you see, it's got like a little silicone thing right here, and that is used to hold the skirt together. So it's actually in a insert. So it's a pretty cool looking skirt as well. It's got like some orange right here, it's got some green, and then it's got some blue. I think that'll be really good for a bluegill profile, which is obviously what you're going to be targeting with this. Now, the setup that I have this set up on, or going to have this set up on, is my Black Max Abu Garcia Black Max old. This is my old Black Max rod with the Shakespeare Agility Baitcaster. I think this is 6.5 to 1 if I remember correctly. 6.2 to 1, excuse me. 6.2 to 1 gear ratio with, this is either 50 or 65 pound braid. I don't remember. I want to say it's 65 just by the thickness of it. It looks like 65. I already have a bobber stopper on there. You guys can see that little ball right there. That's called a bobber stop. Now, it's not only used for bobbers, it's also used as a Texas rig weight peg. Now, today, the baits that we're going to be throwing on this rig are going to be one of two baits. Now, I just completely cleaned out this entire table and my tackle box. I don't know if I have one right here that I can show you. Actually, yeah, I do. It's right there. Holy cow. Wow, looky there. This is actually already helping me. The two baits that I would throw on this is either the Mud Crawler by Dock's Lure Company or the bait that we're going to be rigging up here today, and that is the Dock's Lure Company Flip Out. So obviously the name hence is Flip Out, flipping bait. This one here is actually the one we're going to be putting on. It's already been split apart because I already had it rigged up, but I unrigged it to show you guys this little punch rig deal. I actually completely cleaned out this box. I completely cleaned out my jig box, redid all that. I have a whole bag of stuff that I'm going to be throwing away because it's either all rusted up, no good, and all that. So, I'm not going to be giving that away. It's all junk and trashy kind of stuff. So, I got almost a whole Walmart bag full of stuff that I just didn't need up here on this table and everything. Now, pretty much the only thing I have on this table is my iPod and headphones. I was listening to some old rock and roll music a minute ago. I got a couple of jig heads that I have yet to put away, and my knife, which I'm going to use to cut the braid, and the camera and the equipment that we're going to be talking about here today. So as I said, we have this skirt right here, very cool looking sunfish colored skirt. We have the hook of choice, which is a lot different than other people. Professional people will say that you need a flipping hook. You don't need a flipping hook. I'm going to be throwing a 4-aught EWG. This is by Eagle Claw, laser sharp Jason Christie hook. The Dock's Lure Company Flip Out flipping bait. I'm going to be throwing just plain old Green Pumpkin Magic. Now, the weight. The weight is something that I'm going to be experimenting with a little bit. Now, I don't use tungsten weights a whole lot. I have only ever owned two. One of them's right here, and one of them is at the bottom of my pond. The reason why is it cut my line. So I'm going to go with this lead. You guys can see here, this is a tungsten. this is a lead, and this is a lead. Now, this lead bullet weight is a 1/4 ounce. The black one here is a 1/4 ounce. This is a 1/2 ounce. There's quite a bit of size difference there. But if you look at these two compared to this one, now this one here looks just a little bit bigger than the 1/4 and a lot smaller than the 1/2 ounce. But believe it or not, this is a tungsten 1/2 ounce bullet weight. Look at the difference of the size right here. But I'm going to go ahead and go with this tungsten bullet weight just because I only have one, and I figured, why not? If it cuts my line, I'm not really losing a whole lot of stuff. It's not like this is some expensive, $16 lure. I can buy those punch skirts pretty cheap. The hook is pretty cheap, and the weight, honestly, if it cuts the line, then evidently it was no good to begin with. So how we're going to start this off, we already have our bobber stopper. Where's that? Right here, the bobber stopper. Now, we're going to go ahead and thread the weight on the line. Now, something that I used to do all the time when I'd tie up a Texas rig is I would mess up and I'd put the bullet weight on there backwards. Like this right here. We'll show you guys how I used to do it on accident. Like that right there. You guys can see the bobber stop right there. You guys can see that's not right. That's not how you do it. You want the pointed end towards the bobber stop. You want that pointed end of the bullet weight to be aiming at the bobber stop and the end of your rod. Now, it's going to be a little bit hard for me to do, so if it takes me a few seconds, I do apologize because this light is shining right in my eyes and it's really hard to see pretty much anything underneath the table and in my hands. It's almost pitch black down there. I can't see nothing because of that light. That's how you want it to look, though, right there. This braid is 65 or 50 pound spider wire. The reason why I trust spider wire over any other brand is we literally have a rod. I can go and get it, but I'm not going to. We have a spinning rod that has 15-pound test spider wire braid that my grandpa put on there over 15 years ago. He's been gone for 11 years now. He passed away in 2007, so this year will be 12 years ago. So that line is well over 12 years old, and we are still using it to this day. Now, of course, we don't go fishing with it all the time because it's more of a bluegill fishing rod, but it is still darn good line. So, we got that bullet weight, we got the peg. Now we're going to go ahead and put the skirt on there. So basically how you do the skirt, sort of just like you would the bullet weight. You go right down on it just like so, and that's how it's going to look. That right there. Just like so. Alright, so now that we have this weight, so this whole combination with the 1/2 ounce bullet weight, the skirt, and the hook and the bait will probably weigh somewhere around a 3/4 ounces, if not a full ounce. You also, when you're fishing heavy cover, especially grass, you're going to have to compensate for that. If you're fishing a 1/2 ounce bullet weight, but you're fishing with a big hook, a big skirt, and a big bait, it's going to be a bigger presentation. It's going to be a heavier weight. It's obviously not going to be the weight of the weight. It's going to be plus the hook, plus the bait, plus the skirt, and everything else. Now, I just hooked myself. Already bleeding. That's great. Now, the knot that I tie, I don't 100% know the name of it. I've been told it's called a half-blood knot. I've been told it's called a trilene knot. I don't really know the exact name of it. I just have always done this knot. This is a knot that I've always used. You can use whatever knot you prefer. I know a lot of fishermen prefer their version of a knot. If you have your preferred knot, then you can use that one if you want to. If you're using an actual flipping hook, a lot of people go with a Snell knot. And there we go. Now, one thing you got to watch out for with braided line, especially when your hands are wet, is when you're tying the braided line and you go to wrap it around your hands and make sure the knot is good. Don't ever do that. Something that I learned pretty easily, but I've done it so many times that honestly you think I'm stupid or something. I've learned it over the years that it will very, very easily cut your hands. I've had, deep cuts in my pinky and in my index finger to the point where they were pouring out blood because I was too stupid to realize that it was cutting through my hand because of the water that soaks into your skin will make it not even feel like there's anything wrong, but that braid will actually be cutting through your skin. I've had that so many times, and it hurts after your hands dry and you go on ahead and do whatever. But if your hands are dry already beforehand, you more than likely won't cut your hands, but always take that safety precaution. Make sure you're not cutting your hands because it will hurt a lot. So now that we have that set up, now we'll take our bait. This is a Doc's Lure Company flipping bait. Go ahead and Texas rig it up onto the hook. Now, most of you guys probably already know how to do a Texas rig, so I won't have to show you guys that. If you don't, then there's a lot of videos on YouTube here that you can watch and learn. Go back in some of my older videos. I've showed it before. So now we've got our finished product right here, and I'm telling you what, boy, that right there looks like something that would catch a big old bass. Look at that guy right there. Now, it looks giant. I'm sure it looks like really big to you guys, but in all reality, when you're looking at like a 3 or 4 pound bass, a 3 or 4 pound bass has no problem eating a 4-inch bluegill. I mean, let's really look at a 4-inch bluegill and how small it actually is. This bait right here is 4 inches long. A 3 or 4 pounder can eat that easily. I've caught fish smaller than 3 or 4 pounds on baits like this. You can catch, with this big of a rig, even though it looks like it would just be monster, just bust down through the grass and scare every fish out. That bait right there will probably be able to catch, 10 inchers, just because of the fish that they're crazy. Bass are crazy. They're crazy critters, and they will try to eat whatever they can. And if they see something, that looks this good come just busting down through the grass like that skirt all puffed out, the bait all kicking and everything, them bass are going to eat it. Now, a 3 or 4 pounder, that is candy right there for a 3 or 4 pounder. For a 6 or 7 pounder, that right there is a nice little snack. Now, I doubt I'll be catching any 6 or 7 pounders on this because we're in Illinois where 6 and 7 pounders are the things of legends and dreams. But there's always that possibility. And if you're going to a place like Florida, Texas, especially Texas and Florida, where there's a lot of cover to be flipped and a lot of areas that you can throw baits like that, you can catch them. You can catch big ones doing this. Something I like about this that I'm going to be trying this year is not just throwing it like that, flipping, but I'm probably going to throw it out, with 20 pound or 12 pound mono, throwing stuff like that for fish, instead of fishing a jig. Fishing it through the brush would be a very weedless jig. And I think that there will be a killer bait there in the brush piles and stuff. But that right there is what it looks like. If you guys want to purchase the oh, there's a ceiling fan. I'll have to make sure it's not broke after the video. That sucked. But if you want to purchase the Doc's Lure Company flipping bait, I'll show it to you here up close. This color here is green pumpkin body with the green pumpkin arms and the chicken liver claws. If you want to purchase any of these, they're $4 for a pack of 10, no matter what color you get. We do a bunch of different colors. You can ask down in the comments. With this setup, I think I will be able to catch a fish. The reason why I went ahead and tied this all up instead of, leaving the frog that I normally would have on this rod on there is it's not exactly frog fishing weather. It's pretty darn cold right now. The pond is completely frozen over, so I won't be able to go fishing with this anytime soon. This is more of a shallow water bait anyway, but it's always good to have stuff on already, even though it's nowhere near fishing season yet, because it's still pretty cold. Now, I just bought $24 worth of baits. I saved up some money, and I actually bought some, if I remember right, I bought some 2/0 EWG hooks, which is something I was needing, and my local Walmart doesn't sell anymore. I wish they did. I also bought, what else did I buy? I bought 2 different hooks, 2 different style hooks. I bought some EWGs and something else, and I also bought a gigantic topwater bait, which I cannot wait to throw. It's like 2 ounces, so it's going to be something that I'm pretty darn excited about. I can't wait to throw it in the pond where there's the mystery fish. You guys know that pond. If you go back and watch the another biggin on the 8-inch slammerworm video, the very first one, that pond has some sort of a mystery fish that has very big teeth and is a very big fish in general, like 50 inches. Could be a muskie, could be a pike, could be something totally foreign to us, which is a muskie and pike are pretty foreign to us down here where we're at, but it could be something else. Could be a gator gar for all we know. We have no idea what it could be, but I want to catch it, and I want to catch it on a lure. So I bought a gigantic topwater bait, which should be here around the 3rd of February. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. I'll be doing a unboxing video once I get those in. So yeah, thank you guys for watching once again. If you like this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know some, of your favorite rigs for catching fish. If you've used this type of a rig, this punch rig style, before, and let me know down in the comments if you prefer an EWG hook or a flipping hook when you're flipping grass. So yeah, thank you guys for watching once again. Bye.